Welcome back. We are on the back side of our review, starting at the one that says acting. Can you see that Miss Fisher drew a three-dimensional shape and then erased it? It's because I started to draw one I wanted you to review, but then I changed my mind because that one was really easy. So I think we should review actually some of the harder ones instead of that easy one. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to write this story problem out. So that'll be fun for you. And be careful on this because I'm not going to use the exact same numbers that are on the test. This is just a concept to review. So a path is 0.95 meters wide. Miss Fisher is going to extend the width, meaning make it wider. Miss Fisher is going to extend the width by placing blocks forty centimeters wide on each side of the path. 40 And actually, I'm going to change that from 40, make it a little bit easier, 30 to 30 centimeters wide on each side of the path. Okay? So basically what's happening is we have this like pathway. Here's a pathway. And I'm going to extend it by putting blocks on each side. So I'm trying to make it wider by putting blocks on the side. Okay? So the question is, the new path is how many meters wide? So how many meters wide? Oh, struggling. How many meters wide is the new path? This is not too bad. You know that this is 0.95. You know that it's going to be meters, sorry. You know that on each side it's going to be 30 cm and 30 cm. So all you have to do is add those together to find out how wide the whole thing really will be now. So the only problem is you've got these in centimeters and that in meters. Remember the question asked you to give your answer in meters. So you might as well change all of them to be meters. But before you do that, I would quickly just add 30 cm and 30 cm. So 30 centimeters plus 30 centimeters is 60 centimeters. Now quickly change that to meters. Then, once you have that, you can add the 0.95. I guess I won't put that yet. This is a metric system, centi to meters. So you can refer back, or you can draw a new staircase. I'm just going to refer back here. Centi and meters. So meters would be this middle unit. So here's centi to meters. I'm going up 1, 2. When I go up 2, I'm moving to the left 2 places. So 60 centimeters moving to the left 2 places is 0.6 or 0.6 meters. So now I have the brick total, 0.6, and I have the 0.95. Remember, you have to line up the decimals. So do you know the button man, the button man, the button man? Do you know the button man? He lines the decimals up. And 0 the hero has to fly in. 5 plus 0 is 5. 9 plus 6 is 15. Carry the 1. My new total here would be 1.55 meters wide. That would be my total. Be careful on the test because those aren't the same numbers, but the same idea of extending a path and making it wider. Okay, let's move on to Fishalicious. Speaking of Fishalicious, Miss Fisher has a drink right now, and it's incredible. It is called the Diet Drama Queen at Fizz. It has green apple and raspberry. Doesn't that sound so delicious? And cream, and it's delicious. It's Fishalicious, really. Okay, the next problem that I want to do with you is another problem that is kind of just like a complicated story problem. So we are going to spend the time to quickly write these. Actually, we're not going to write it. That takes way too long. What I'm going to do is just cut it off and show it to you. And then we're just going to talk about what they're asking and for you to be smart about how you figure this out. Okay, here it is. On a 1-mile walking tour of New York City, a group had to take a detour that was 200 yards shorter than half the distance. Whoa. So we have a mile. We have 200 yards shorter than, that means you're going to be subtracting half the distance. Whoa. The detour is how many yards? So we have mile and then we have yards. So first of all, what is half the distance of a mile tour? A half mile. Hopefully you understand that. Okay? A half mile. But they're going to be going on a detour that is 200 yards shorter than that. So the problem looks like this. A half mile minus 200 yards. Can you subtract these two things? They're not the same unit. The answer is no. It's just like having fractions with unlike denominators. You have to get them to be the same. You have to use conversion skills. So what we're looking for is yards. They want to know it in yards. So would you change the yards or would you change mile? Hopefully you answered that. Mile. You're going to change this one. You don't need to change yards. They're looking for yards. So I have to convert a half mile into yards. Wow. Well, I'm going to have to go back to what I know about lengths. Do you remember this when we learned about the American customary units of length? So we drew like a little chart. Remember? Looks like this. We had inches, feet, yards, and miles. Remember that? Inches, feet, yards. You should be drawing this. Miles. We drew like a little chart that looked like this. And you just needed to know that there are 12 inches. The connecting number there is 12. How many feet are in a yard? 3. Do you remember how many feet are in a mile? 5, 2, 8, 0. Well, how many yards are in a mile then? You're just going to divide that by 3. I think it's 1760. I'm not sure, so I better just double check it. 3 goes into 5, 1. 3 goes into 22, 7 times. Sorry, that's a 2. It goes into 1860. Oh, did I say 1760? I think I did. Anyway, that number is 1760. So, you know that to get from yards to miles, or miles to yards, that it's 1760. You need 1760 if it's a full mile, but I only have half of that. So I take the 1760 and I divide by 2 to get half of that. And 1760, when you divide by 2, looks like this. 2 goes into 17, 8 times. 2 goes into 16, 8 times. And then 2 goes into 0, 0 times. It's 880. That is how many yards the detour is in that story problem. So again, using the conversions of what you know, on this math test you get to use this review and your math journal. Oh, that is just so lucky, because using your math journal on a tough test like this is going to be really, really helpful. Okay, the next problem I want to solve here on this story problem, on this review, sorry, is going to be, that's so silly, both of these. Maybe we can get both of these done really quickly. I don't really know. Let me see if I can just show you this. It'll be a little bit easier. This one is talking about area. And in order to know how to solve this problem, they're wanting you to know what the formula for area is. So on text twisters, let's just make sure we write area is length times width. Let's just remember that, okay? This says a door sign has the length of 5 inches and an area of 18 inches. Ooh. So it gave us the length and it gave us the area, but it did not give us the width. Okay, use the numbers and symbols shown to the right. They're going to be showing you these symbols to choose an equation that can be used to find the unknown width. Okay, would you find the width by just doing 18 times 5? No way. That would be saying that the width is 5. No way. The width is 18. You're not going to get bigger than the width. Would you find it by doing 18 divided by 5? Would you find it by doing 18 minus 5? Or would you find it by doing this that we just did? 18 equals 5 times W. So there are 2 correct answers here. You need to figure out which 2 that is. But the width of the door sign is blank inches. So let's actually solve it. So you need to select all that apply when you take the test. There's 2 of these that work here. Select all that apply, and we're going to try and solve it. In order to get that measurement, we'll use the opposite operation of multiplication. And the opposite operation of multiplication is division. So I would do 18 divided by 5. That looks like this, 18 over 5, or it looks like this, 18 divided by 5. Both of those are ways to show 18 divided by 5. So if you like to do it this way, you can do it that way. I'm going to quickly do it both. You should do both as well, but on the test you can do whichever way floats your boat. This is easy. You just go, how many times will 5 go into 18 without going over? 3 times, and that was 15, so you would have 3 left over. In this one, 5 goes into 18 3 times. You have 3 left over, so you make it a fraction. 3 and 3/5 is the answer. So the area is 3 and 3/5. And remember, oh, it's not the area. Good thing I double checked that. It's not the area we're looking for. This is the length. So I don't need to have it squared, but it does need to say, is it inches they're talking about? Yeah, inches. So on the test, good luck on that problem. Make sure that you are thinking through it and choosing all that apply, okay? That's going to be important. The next problem, I'm going to try and sneak it into this. Nope, I'm not going to sneak it into this video. I will see you in the next video for the last 3 problems.